Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another post-fight analysis video. All right, y'all. The co-main event Saturday night, UFC 268, strawweight champion Rose Namajunas ran it back with the #1 contender in Zhang Weili. And yeah, man, this was a good fight. It wasn't like a barn burner like we thought. I thought the fight was gonna go inside 5, but it didn't. You know, Zhang Weili, she made some changes to her game plan, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Rose Namajunas, to me, was pretty much the same fighter, which I'll describe what I mean, of course, as we get down into the video here. But, we talked last night in the live stream. I gave you some of my thoughts, but like I always like to do, I go back and do a post-fight analysis, talk about the fight, give you my thoughts on how it went. We had a much more competitive fight here because Weili, she made some slight improvements. Rose, she was affected by some of those improvements in some ways, but it wasn't the most explosive because Rose, she couldn't fully get those show-stopping results like the first fight. Weili was a little bit more respectful, a little bit more, I won't say gun shy, but she was a little bit more tentative in this fight. She started strong, but Rose Namajunas, she stayed consistent in this fight, just stuck to her game plan, and that's how she was able to edge this fight out. Now, first time I watched it with y'all, I did the fight companion, I watched it, I felt like Rose Namajunas won the fight. Second time I watched it, I broke it down to y'all last night, and I posted, I said, I think Zhang Weili did enough to win this fight, and this is that post-fight analysis on how I felt like she pulled it out. I could see it going either way, but it was definitely a close fight. At first, when I heard that verdict read, split decision, I was like, oh, Rose won that. But like I said, I was busy talking in the chat a little bit. There was a lot of key moments in the third round I feel like I missed, and maybe a little bit in the second. It was a left hook or headbutt, people say. But overall, if you even take that out, I think Zhang Weili in the second round just outlanded Rose with the body kicks and leg kicks, and also scored a takedown. So that gave her the first 2 rounds, right? So let's talk about it, man. Real quick, looking back at the first round, right away, Weili, she had a similar start to the first fight, circling at a range, landing a low kick from the outside. It was looking very reminiscent of the first fight here. So, Rose was keeping that pressure on Weili, making Weili uncomfortable at this range. Rose was stalking, landing a couple of nice flurries of 1-2 several times at this range. So I was like, okay, this is what Rose likes. She's at her range. Weili still landing her leg kick, but taking shots upstairs. So Weili, she takes it on the inside. She gets the body lock, gets the takedown. Weili's in that guard, staying close, trying to land ground and pound and control Rose's legs to avoid the up kicks as she stands. Rose, she got back up, ate a Weili body kick on the break. Weili's leg and body kicks here were the most effective, but Rose, she's still getting that outside range in. She's still getting those punches in, landing with power. Weili, she won a smarter round here with the leg and body kicks and takedowns, but she was still fighting on the outside too much here. And like I said, it was very reminiscent of the first fight, and this was why Rose was very comfortable. Second round, Weili started on the outside again, landing that hard low kick, but Rose, she's at a range to pop off jabs and still strike from a distance and land combinations. She started reddening up the face of Weili. Weili moving side to side, letting Rose lead, but she's not landing accurate hooks here, and to do that, she has to be on the inside, like I said, taking Rose off balance, phone booth fight. Weili, she stepped in close here, landed a good hard hook combination. It was like a right left hook combination, and that's what she had to do. She finally did it one time in this round. Weili, she continued to work the legs and and Rose was finding the chin. Letting Rose lead, to me, it wasn't too much of a bad thing at times because that way she could kind of switch it up. And as Rose stepped in here, now like I said, it was from that angle. It looked like a left hook, but people said it was a headbutt that landed hard on Rose and buzzed her and made her fall back, right? She looked hurt, but I had to give Rose a lot of credit. She recovered fast, and Weili got hit by a kick, so she had to kind of step back herself. So Weili, what did she do? Since Rose is a little buzzed, she gets the takedown. Again, not much work here as Rose got back up, and she scores her own takedown. Weili, in my opinion, though, I think that, she wasn't using some of the same rough tactics here, and she looked a little bit lost on her back with that second takedown. So I think that Weili, again, was looking too tentative, and she was abandoning the work rate here. She abandoned the work rate. Like, too many changes, I guess, kind of put her out of a different mind frame of the old Weili, right? Third round, close round here. Weili was still playing this outside battle, letting Rose stalk forward, and this was too risky. Rose in a front foot heavy position, like I was telling y'all, front foot heavy. She was looking to put more power on her strikes and walk Weili down. Weili was still landing the low kick, shooting that lead leg up, but no, not enough body shots, not enough body shots. She's not measuring her range, so she can't land punches at this range. She's cheating herself by not giving herself any opportunities here. Like, she's throwing a wild overhand right, missing with loopy left hooks. The only way you can land them shots, like I said, is if you are on the inside. Rose, she's landing the right hand, but Weili, she's going to the leg and body. She's landing legs and body kicks here. As Rose gets closer. At the 2-minute mark, though, I think Weili, at this point, she won the first 3 minutes of the round with her striking. But with that knockdown from Rose, it kind of closed it in. Rose landed a left hook a couple of times, and I think she dropped her there. When she bounced back up, Rose tried to go in and clinch. Weili, she closed the round out with a takedown. She was able to get the back, trying to go for that rear naked. Then she made that transition to full mount. No work got in from there because it was like 10 seconds left. So I think Weili, to me, edged that round out. With the controlled striking in the first 3 minutes of the round, and then the takedown ending in top position. She went from the back to the top position, so I had to give her that round. If you go back and look at it, there were some close moments where you could kind of score the knockdown, but I gave it to Weili the second time. I mean, I go back and watch it again. Like I said, this was a close. The fourth round, now the fight starts to take a different turn. Rose, she's not really switching it up here. She's still stalking forward, and Weili, she's not changing up either here, but it's kind of favoring Rose at this point just because she's putting the effective pressure on, and she's kind of front foot heavy, trying to put those big shots together. But being front foot heavy, Weili's taking advantage of that. She's landing low kicks. She lands a big right of her own, but Rose comes back with one of her own. And then Weili still not taking the fight to the phone booth here. Like, she doesn't really have to go for these takedowns. She just needs to fight on the inside and make it rough and rugged. So, again, she abandons the body, and that's why Rose, she's still game here. She's still kind of finding that, I won't even say find that second win. She's still fresh because she's not really taking big body shots like she did in the Jessica Andrade fight, or even like the leg kicks were really doing much damage like in the Wmma fight here. So she's still game. She's fresh. She's really starting to come on stronger here. But Weili makes a big mistake here. Again, instead of fighting on the inside, she goes for a takedown. She's able to get the back of Rose here, but like I said, Rose is slippery. She's slippery. Her jiu-jitsu is good, and she's able to turn into the guard of Weili and scramble nicely. She scrambles nicely, showcase that jiu-jitsu, like I said, getting that top position, working the body. She's got her head in the chest of Weili, hitting her with body shots, keeping Weili helpless on her back. Weili's not effective at all here. Rose is just kind of like diving in and out of the guard, just controlling the round from here. Honestly, this was Rose's first round, and it was a good ground round. She really wasn't winning too much on her feet here because Weili's low kicks and just the effective takedowns from Weili in the beginning. So to me, this was actually the first round that I seen, watching it the second time for Rose. Last round, fifth round, you could either have it even here or have it for Weili. That was how I kind of did my math on this fight. Weili, honestly though, even though if you had her ahead on the cards, she needed a finish. If you're the challenger, you need a finish against the champion. Rose, she was still committed to her game of stalking forward, doing these little body bumps. She landed a few good hard strikes and then kind of bumped Weili back with the forearms just to kind of gas her out, and that works. So as Rose comes stepping back in like she's going to walk her down, all of a sudden she switches levels. She switches levels quick, takes Weili down similar to how she secured the Wmma rematch. And that's why I said, like, Rose knows how to bag rounds. She does have a high IQ. Same how she tried to do to Tisha Torres in the rematch. I still feel Tisha Torres has won that rematch, but she did try to secure that round with a takedown, and that's how the judge gave it to Tisha in that rematch, similar to how she did in the Wmma fight, and that's how she did in this fight. She secured the takedown here, just like that rematch, and from here, Rose was in top control. She worked in and out the guard again, just really bum rushing and mauling Weili. Weili was really struggling on her back here. She just abandoned her work rate, like she was throwing no elbows, forearms, or even trying to like buck. She wasn't even trying to buck the turner. Never looked to scramble. Rose's position this round was just very awkward, in and out the guard. It was active and controlling. I saw no urgency in Weili at this point. So there was a part of me that said, okay, I know this is why she's going to lose the fight because, she wasn't even looking for a submission here, wasn't looking for any mistakes. She just wanted to survive at this point, But with that, again, going back to Weili real quick. Yeah, Weili in this round did not really throw any of the elbows or had that grinding style. It was like she abandoned that grinding style this whole round too, So it was just a full-on controlled round by Rose Namajunas from, I'd say, the first minute to the end of it. When she switched that level and got her down, Weili made no urgency to try to get back up. It was just like she was trying to survive this round. But yeah, with that, I had it 3-2 for Weili the second time, 3-2 for Rose. I think that third round was a close one, but if you look at the strikes and the takedown in the third, Weili had that round. But Rose had her moments, and then she had these 2 solid rounds to secure the fight, so she kept the belt. It's like I always say, these split decisions, if you look at them closely, it can go either way. There was really no robbery. I can't say there was a robbery, and as somebody that's just watching the fight, I gotta say that, hey, look, it's somebody just watching the fight. It could have went either way. I'm not looking at it as a fan of either one here. So yeah. Overall, I think Rose was committed to her game plan, but Weili, she disrupted it in the beginning with the leg attack and the takedowns. Rose just never fully made adjustments until 4 and 5, and Weili just never really committed to the dogfight like she used to do. That's why I'm going to go back to, like, she made so many changes that I think that she abandoned what she needed to do. She wasn't really confident in what she fully was before, instead of just making subtle changes this time. Like, it was just like she said, okay, well, we're going to do Weili 2.0. Weili 2.0 is going to be a totally different Weili. Like, we're not even going to incorporate the new things, like just the wrestling with the dogfight. We're not even going to fight on the inside anymore. So that's just kind of how I saw the performance of her. Still unsure of herself, unsure of this new style. So it cost her the fight. And that's why I was telling y'all from the jump, she needed to be in a fight with she needed to be in a fight with some lesser opponents at this point. Weili needed to be in there with a Yan Zhanan or somebody down the rankings to kind of work on this this style. But they wanted to give her the championship fight again, and this is what happens. Weili, in my opinion, was showing more difference than improvements. She wasn't confident enough in her attack. She never really went for the inside fight, which would have been safer than staying on the outside of Rose's punching range. I think she let her moment slide too much, outstriking ahead, outstriking from the, trying to outstrike from the outside instead of brawling. It's like the KO still affected her a little bit. It still affected her because she didn't really want to commit to the old Weili at all. Like, it was just like they wanted to push that out the door because that's who got knocked out. But you still need that person. It's just you need to improve that person instead of trying to change yourself into a whole different fighter. That's why I say I saw differences, but no improvements. Not enough improvements, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, from here, shout out to Weili for taking the fight. She showed heart going back in there. She went 5 with Rose. Like I said, I think she did enough to pull it out, but it is a championship fight. As for Rose Namajunas, she stuck to her game plan, did what she did. Like I said, I didn't really see a great deal of change from her because she didn't really have to change too much. But moving on from here, I hope we can get the Carla Esparza fight. I hope we can get that fight. That's the rematch that makes sense at this point. If not, Dana White's already been talking about another option, which might be Marina Rodriguez, which I'll talk about in another video. But moving on from here, even going back and looking at Weili's performance here, if Weili has to get back in there, she might be looking at fighting Carla. Carla might have to look at fighting her. And I think Carla has a great chance now. After seeing how she was able to she couldn't handle the wrestling of Rose, I think that Carla has a great chance of beating Weili, just out wrestling her. I think she could do it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on this one. Like I said, me just looking, from the outside looking in, I can see the fight going either way. It's going to change. I know it's going to change. It changes with the Joanna and Weili fight, the way I've scored that. I've had Weili winning a couple of times. I've had that fight a draw. I've gave it to Joanna once. So, it's not even a fan thing at this point. I'm just telling you the truth on how it goes. So if I say this or I say that, that's my opinion. And if you come to my channel, you have to accept that. So yeah, Combo Breaker 99. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.